All right, let's get into the first speaker, Kerry Mursell. I met Kerry, it was probably over a year ago now, or maybe even more. We haven't hooked up for a while. I've been trying to get these lovely ladies here tonight to speak because they've got a stack load of experience and done a lot of deals. If you've had a look at their site, propertyprospects.com.au, there's some funny photos in there and some good stuff to read. And I had a quick peek at Kerry's presentation, and it's fantastic. So without further ado, let's get Kerry up here. Please welcome her.
Well, the good news is I've got absolutely nothing to sell tonight. I'm in no business at all, and I'm just going to stand here and talk about the different property deals that I've done. My life's journey. I probably don't even need this actually. Can you hear that? Isn't it? Hello?
Just hold a bit closer, yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me at the back? Do I need to...
I need it for the video.
You can hear me? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Sorry.
All right. So I'm just going to rabbit on you guys about my life's journey, where I've got to now, and all the challenges that I faced along the journey that made me go into a sideways direction so that I could get to my goal, which is where I'm at now, is basically I can retire. And I can retire because of the property portfolio that I have. And I'm going to show you how I built that. I have my partner Amanda. She's been on most of the journey with me, and we started 7 years ago. We had both had ex-husbands. My ex-husband ended up taking the house, and I got the boat. And Amanda's got half of her husband's house. So that's where we started. The boat I ended up swapping for a block of land near Yamba, and then the block of land I sold at about a $10,000 loss and invested that. So I think I got about $130,000 out of the settlement, and that's what we started with to build up our multi-million-dollar portfolio. And I'm 52 now. If two little fat housewives can do this, and this is your dream, I swear anyone can do it. And it's just, give it a go. Like, I mean, it's all new, it's all strange, but if you don't give it a go, you're never going to try it. You're never going to know. You know, I'm new at this thing. Okay, so this was the very first property. Well, I bought the family home in my 20s. This was the first property that I bought. It was a principal place in Western. And it's in Carrara, Crescent. The reason I particularly liked it is on 2 levels. I bought this at auction, which is a great place to buy a property if you're buying. It's not a great place to sell a property. And the person I was bidding against, there was 11 people to bid at the auction. The person I was bidding against was standing across the road on a mobile phone. And the bid came up to $172,000, and he said, no, I'm not going to bid anymore. And then he was there. It was really weird what he was doing, but he was trying to talk to someone on the phone and bid at the same time. The following day, after I bought this property for $372,000, he rang the real estate agent and he said, I'll give that lady $10,000 if I can buy that property. I'll give her $10,000 cash, just sign it to me, not her. And I said, this property is worth probably $100,000 more than what I paid for it. And he said, I was going to pay up to $450,000 for that. He was on the phone to his daughter in Singapore, and his daughter got annoyed with him, so hung up. And he couldn't get her back on the phone, so he couldn't make another bid because he was going in partnership with her, so he lost the property. And so the person who was selling that property could have got $450,000 for it, but they didn't because the daughter hung up on it. So an auction is a fantastic place to buy a property, but for that exact reason, it's not a fantastic place to actually sell a property. So that property we lived in for many years with the plan of developing the block. Because what we can do on the Gold Coast, any property that's over 950 squares, you can actually build another property on the back of it, and then you can do a community title and sell the two properties. And that's why I particularly bought that property, because it was over the 950 squares. It also was a renovator, and you'll see we got in and renovated ourselves. It was the house they built only half the house because it was on 3 levels. And so you can see, I'm going to try the pointer. See that? That was a door to nowhere, right? And so if you were on the 2nd floor and opened that door, you just fell on the ground. So we thought that was pretty important to fix that. And we went out to Bunnings and bought all the materials to do that, because we're really hands-on. We'll do anything that we think we can have a crack at, and it hasn't always been wonderful. Actually, I shot, about 2 years ago, I shot her with a nail gun, so that wasn't, that wasn't wonderful, but we'll give anything a crack. So we got up there and we filled the hole in and put the blue board up and did that. We also, you can see what slope the actual house is on. So we actually put a veranda on the front. Has anybody hired a kanga? A dingo? They're like a little tiny back a digger or 4-in-1 thing on it. Well, they are just the most funnest things. And we hire, any excuse to hire a kango, we do. And so that's me. That's the good side of me. On the kango, and we had to put the post. We had backhoe. So you can't ever be told no, right? Because it's wrong. They're wrong. We had the backhoe man come out, and we had several guys come out. We had to get the holes dug to put the footings for the front veranda in. And everyone came out and said, it's too steep, you can't do it, you can't do it. And I said, well, how steep can it be? So we hired a kanga and we hired a post hole digger, and apart from nearly rolling it down the hill, we got the post holes in. Oh, yes, I know. Yeah, wrong way. There's a veranda. Now, it wasn't quite finished there, but you can see that the posts down the bottom here, they're the posts that we had to dig the holes to put in. And Amanda had the most wonderful ideas. Anyone ever been where there's on a porch that's got a tree growing through the middle? Don't ever do it. Don't ever. See that stupid tree? If you drive past that property in Plateau Crescent, you can see the tree's cut off about there now. So we have not a tree, we have a stump growing through the veranda. So yeah, well, we were thinking of putting a table on it, but it, yeah. Yeah, the palm, it drops all the, those stupid orange nuts? And we've got a glass table, and then it drops as palm fronds on the glass table. You can't, it's just hopeless, don't ever do it. So, so that was Carrara. Anyway, I'll tell you about that later. We ended up doing owner finance on that property last year, and I'll tell you how that came about as we go through. Am I going the right way? We've seen those, haven't we? Yeah. No, this is, Carrara was, oh wait. Okay. All right. So that's what the property looked like. We still haven't developed on the back because once the global financial crisis hit, the bank said no to any money. And here's the downside of actually doing a lot of work yourself is that you lose your income. And so the bank kept on saying you can't service the loans, and we're saying but we can, and we have been, and we've never missed a payment, but they said you can't service the loans, so we had to move sideways. Amanda actually bought this property, and it's at Mudgeeraba. It's 1 acre. It's a 2-storey property, and underneath there was a garage. And what we did, once again, we created cash flow positive property by actually building in underneath. And underneath the property, hold on, no good at this button. Underneath the property we put in a 3-bedroom unit. So what it became is a dual income property. So even though she, just the one income, you probably would have got, say, $500 a week for a 3-bedroom home. Because it's got 2 3-bedroom properties in there, we've managed to achieve about $800 a week. So it turned it from negative into cash flow. And we actually did owner finance on that one. about 12 months ago too. Let's see. Long way ago. Okay, part of the guy who'd had it before, he had cement all around the bottom of the house, and then he put pavers on top of the cement. So we had another excuse to hire the Kango. She got it stuck. She put so many pavers in it, she fell down. The bucket hit the bottomed out, and she couldn't get out. We put up we put sand down, and here's a learning point here. We could have done concrete, or we could have put sand down, and you know, sand and pavers, and the grass grows between the pavers, and it's all awful. Well, we will never ever again. By the time we got through the exercise of putting the sand down and getting the whacker packer and hiring the Kango and doing all we needed to do, we should have just paid some contractors to come in and put the concrete down, because the cost difference between the pavers and outside tiles are quite a big difference because of the thickness of the paver, and we will never ever put sand down. Next time we do something like that, and that's what it looked like when we finished, next time we do something like that, we'll put concrete down. And this just added value to the property. The property needed lots of things doing, and we spent the money on doing that, and as I said, we've done owner finance on it. So I'm just going to run through some figures, because everyone, it's all right standing here rabbiting on about what we did and all the rest, but at the end of the day, the figures are, you know, whether it's going to make or break the deal. So that was our purchase price. That's about what we spent in the renos. We did a lot of work ourselves. That's what we've sold the property for. Now, that price in the market last year, it's quite a good price considering where our property market last year was, and our property market hasn't picked up much. We sold it on 3 years. 3 years they've got to actually get the money to us, and unfortunately the guy who bought it, he fell off a ladder and is broken, so we'll probably give them 4 years to give them time to get the money back to us. An interest-only loan, which is higher than our interest payment, and if the buyer pays, for anyone who's never heard of these owner finance deals, you might have heard them rent to buy, but we do just owner finance. The buyer pays all the associated expenses and the maintenance with the property. So if anybody's got a rental property and you get your rates, your insurance, everything that comes in, we just pass that directly on to the buyer, and we take that out weekly from the buyer's bank account, so that when it comes time for the bills to be paid, we've got the money there and we pay them. Right, so that's how you might see there's ads around that people say you can turn to negatively geared property into cash flow positive. That's how it's actually done. Right, now, ask me anything. Like, you can all sit there and go on. The purchase price has the stamp. No, that purchase price does not have the stamp duty on it. No. Oh yes, acquiring cost is the stamp duty. Yes. There's about 5% to acquire a property